Hey everybody, this is Liam Martin from Running Remote, and I don't know about you, but I think that over the last couple months, we've seen a lot more myths pop up about remote work that honestly are not true. I don't want to necessarily put on my tinfoil hat, but I've seen a lot of weird stuff that's been currently happening, and I thought I would actually solve all of those myths for you right here on this YouTube channel, in this video, absolutely right now. By the way, my name is Liam Martin, let's get into it. So as companies prepare for the definitive return to the office, there's a growing dissatisfaction of the employees who want to keep their options open for the flexible workplace. Company management is still skeptical about remote work, claiming that it creates silos, lowers social interactions, and creativity. At the same time, many employees disagree with that, saying that their productivity has never been higher. It's even grew since they started working from home. In June, Morgan Stanley CEO James Gorman, who I will kind of refer to as James No Fun Gorman, drew wide attention for telling workers he would be very disappointed if they weren't back in the office by Labor Day. That didn't happen. He said, quote unquote, "If you can go to a restaurant in New York City, you can come into the office," he said during an investing conference webcast. Are the executives' concerns true, or do they just want to find an excuse to keep better control over their workforce? Let's take a look at the common reasons of why remote work is not going to work. Number one, seeing other people working inspires you to be more productive. This idea is not backed up by the real data. In separate analyses, economists explained what happened when a Chinese travel agency and a major American retail split their call centers into groups that worked from home and groups that came into the office. The Chinese company randomized its workers into two groups. The American retailer divided its employees less formally. In both cases, workers at home handled at least as many calls as those who were in the office. The solution to this is, first of all, this may be not true for different types of people and different types of work. Introverted people evaluate themselves as more productive when working on their own, and the state of deep work requires focus that can be achieved when you are alone. See my video on deep work, which I think we actually will have linked up here. Secondly, if you're an extrovert, just go to a co-working space, for crying out loud. You don't actually need to stay in the office. Or if you're an extrovert, go into the office, leave the introverts alone, like me. I want to actually work from home, and if I want to show up into the office, just let me do it, for crying out loud. I'm going to be more productive if you leave me alone. Number two, remote work hinders social interactions, which is key for innovation. Here we have some data to back up this stereotype. Research shows that in the academic world, research papers written by collaborators in the same building are cited more frequently later on than papers from collaborators at different universities. Why would that be? Because distance-wise. The solution for this is, in a remote setting, you have to over-communicate to recreate the same experience of an in-person interaction. You also need to intentionally invest in team-building activities and non-work related communication to maintain connection. It may require additional effort, but it is achievable. We've done it, and there are plenty of tech billion-dollar companies that are doing it today. So for crying out loud, building a great culture is achievable. You just have to put a little bit more work into it. Number three, you don't get all the benefits of the office environment. Corporate landlords are investing in amenities, hoping to lure back workers from their couches. Dry cleaning, pickup, fitness classes, new retail spaces, and on-site childcare are among the offerings. The solution to this is, of course, all these things sound very attractive, but you can also do them at home. But it is enough reason to go back to hours of commuting back and forth. Not for me. If yes, then go for it, but leave the option of flexibility for people who value it more than office perks. On top of that, many remote-first companies such as Doist or GitLab offer well-being programs that can easily compete with the in-office perks that we're currently seeing on the market today. Number four, remote work destroys your work-life balance. People who started working remotely complain it's hard to distinguish work and leisure time, and they constantly overwork. The solution to this is a boundary problem that is familiar to any new remote worker. It can be solved by creating a separate home office space and dedicating specific time blocks for work throughout the day. As an example, this is my office. Out there is my social space. I only work on my work stuff in this office. I leave my laptop here and all of my equipment. And then out there, I take, as an example, my iPad, and that's really what I interact with in a social context, and my computer is just for work-related activities. Once you've recognized that, it's a lot easier to be able to work remotely, but a lot of people just aren't recognizing that they're effectively taking their work with them wherever they go. There's a lot of new rules that are going into place in different governments, literally mandating that like after 5 p.m., you can't email or instant message someone that is on their time off. And I think that that's actually a really good piece of legislation. Number 5, management chains may change. Now, this can be a real reason behind why companies are so hesitant to permanently switch to the remote mode. Work from home requires employees to become more self-disciplined and organize their workload themselves. As a result, executives can see who is not really doing as much work as it looked like on paper, but they might have been doing. And this would be the case of some of the supervisory middle management people that the company may no longer need. The solution to this is optimizing work processes, and even firing some people can be a hard decision in the moment, but it may greatly benefit companies' efficiency in the long term. The culture of employees owning their responsibility instead of delegating it to middle managers definitively makes businesses more competitive. So those are 5 of my interesting myths that I hopefully think that I've solved for you. If you have any other myths that you'd like me to solve, put them down below. If you disagree with my myths, put them down below. If you disagree with me, put that down below too. And while you're down there, why don't you like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel? It is indeed free, and we talk about this kind of stuff all day long. Bye.